Hello.
Wally, what's this preseason been like for you? Kind of the new guys here getting them gelled in.
It's been pretty good. I think we've done a lot of bonding in Traverse, and then coming over here, a lot of guys are hanging out outside the rink too, so we're getting to know each other pretty good, and we got a really good group of guys off and on the ice, so we're excited.
What kind of impression has Jeff Petry made on you so far?
Yeah, he's a veteran, solid player. He's takes command a lot out there, and it's nice having him. He feels steady, and yeah, it's great off the ice. He's got a lot of wisdom as well, and he's been in those places that we all want to be in, those games late in the season. So it's we can lean on him a little bit.
Between all the new players, you guys kind of feel like you can feel two very good power play units, even if one should be in a penalty box or something.
Yeah, we got a lot of talent for sure. Both units can score, and it's just creating momentum. I think the most important thing, we get shots in the power play and create scoring chances, and I think the preseason has been good so far, and keep doing that in the season.
With a lot of those new faces on the team, how important is that team bonding before the season starts?
Yeah, it's we love going up to Traverse especially, and I think this year we had pretty much our whole team was here 2 or 3 weeks ahead of before camp even started, so we got to know each other pretty good, and we're still gelling and meshing, but those off-ice things are really important for a team.
You guys getting to the point where it's like, all right, let's get the regular season started, or what?
Yeah, I know I'm itching to play and get it going for real, but these games are nice. It's a good warm-up and a good spot to gel.
I know it's not your decision, but do you have like a preferred spot on the power play? Do you like being on top, or do you like being in the flank to unleash your shot?
Yeah, I've done both. Like back in college, I've been on the flank and I've been on top. So I think we got guys that can play all over. I think we'll see a lot of mixing it up, and guys can take advantage of the spots that they're in. So yeah, for me personally, it doesn't. I don't mind, but yeah, wherever I am, just take advantage of it.
And you talked about the added options on the power play with all the players that you added. The same goes for the PK, just like the depth overall on special teams.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot in the training camp. Guys want to be on special teams, and even in practice, we go hard, and guys can mix in and out. We've tried a bunch of new guys that didn't necessarily play last year, but I think it's just competing and earning those spots, earning the right to be on the PK or power play is important, and like I said, those special teams are momentum changers in the game.
You got to see Edmondson play last season for 9 or 10 games. What have you thought how he's picked up this preseason?
Yeah, he's been good. He's been solid. I think he's a big body. He's got all the tools, and we're really excited. He's I tell him all the time, I wish I had your size, and he uses it pretty well. So he'll be good for us.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What you've been able to do and accomplish and everything?
Yeah, I mean, everything is feeling better and better every day. Obviously, coming in and stepping into a new system, it takes a little bit of time, and I felt better as that first preseason game went on, and the next one kind of built off of that. So just looking to do that again tonight, and just continue to round out my game, learn the system, put all those things into place and get ready.
Is that where exhibition season is especially valuable in a situation like this? Because I know all veterans don't all love a long exhibition season, but when you're coming into a situation like this.
Yeah. I mean, I think as much as you can get done in practice, those reps against a different opponent that doesn't necessarily know the system as well as guys on your team that are defending you. It's good to put everything into place, and they're throwing different forechecks and things at us. So it's coming into a new system, like I said, it's important to get those game reps and see what you need to work on to get better at, and things that are just work on the system differences from one team to another.
Jeff, how comfortable would you say you are in the system as of now, and how much more do you think you need reps-wise?
I mean, I think it's definitely come a lot easier. I mean, there's nothing too complex. There's a couple minor differences at the the neutral zone and things like that from previous teams, but it's like I said, it's just nice to get those reps after taking so much time off, and so just to get those reps to get you as close to regular season ready as possible, and I think each game gives you that opportunity.
Have you thought about what opening night is going to be like?
No, I'm just kind of I'm excited for it and excited for everything, and just to now it's to finish up this camp strong and get myself ready to be ready for opening night.
What are your impressions of Edmondson?
I think he skates well. I think he's obviously got a big frame, which I think, especially when you get that experience, how to use it. I think that's one asset that that he has that a lot of guys don't. That he can definitely use to his advantage, and like I said, his skating and his ability to make a good first pass, I think is that's a very good assets to have, especially as a young player coming in.
Jeff, what do you like to get out of the preseason as a veteran? It's like, are there any things you point to that you want to usually check off once, the preseason hits and all?
For preseason, it's, like I said, it's getting those game reps, no matter how much you skate over the summer and do things in practice, getting in those battles again and, competing against, somebody that's not on your team, so they're going all out. So it's those game reps that you really can't replicate in practice. And for me, like I said, the new system, the slight differences is just putting those into place and finding what works for me within our system and things that continue to spend a little bit more time working on.
Do you like what you're seeing so far from the power play options? It looks like it'll be quite dynamic with a lot of competition and maybe playing in a couple different spots as far as what you're able to do so far.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a great thing to have, is to have that internal competition with guys that can play in all different positions. You have guys that are that are previous teams were half-wall guys, but they moved to the net front, and I think that just gives you the ability to not only change from game to game, but within games, having that rotation. I think it's hard to defend as a PK when you're there's a lot of movement on the other team's power play, and you have the guys that are in those positions that can all make plays. So I think that's it's a good problem to have.
Have you had other ticket requests for opening night?
No, I haven't. Actually, zero so far. So we're on the right track.
Your dad's not showing up?
Well, they are.
He made like every game that you've played here with other. Sure doesn't seem like he gets.
Last year he didn't. The Tigers, I think, were playing. It was like right at the end of the year, so they. Or he might have been down in spring training.
Yeah.
For some reason he didn't make it, but normally he.
That's right. You guys played that Saturday afternoon game here or something. Yeah.
Yeah. The Tigers played one or just before that. So.
Jeff, Derek has mentioned a couple times that he was excited about bringing you in, not just because of what you could do on the ice, but also for your kind of leadership qualities off of it. What is it like to come into a new locker room while also sort of working your way toward a certain measure of a leadership role?
I think the fit for me coming in here just feels natural, I guess. Knowing a lot of the players that have been here for a while that I've skated with throughout the summer, so it wasn't coming into a brand new locker room not really knowing anybody. So I think that helps my comfort level coming in, and then for me to come in and I'm not the most vocal vocal person, but to step up as a leader in different ways, whether it's the way work ethic or talking to a guy one-on-one and that kind of thing. So it's something that I've kind of I did in Montreal when my later years there, and then Pittsburgh had a pretty leader veteran group. So for me that wasn't really an option, or not an option, but something that I was called on to do. And then coming in here just to be able to help with the younger players, share my experiences of my time in the league, and what has worked for me, what hasn't, and just kind of share as much knowledge as I can to anybody that's working to continue to either jump up and stay, various points in their career.
You've played against a lot of these guys in the division for a few years. Is there anyone who, in getting to know them over the last few weeks, has been very different than what you expected from facing them?
No, I mean the only one that I would throw out is Perron, but I've played with him in Edmonton, so I know him, but that's a guy that he's not a fun guy to play against, and but then getting to reconnect with him, I guess it would be. That's been one guy that I've enjoyed really spending time with again.
Does he talk as much to his opponents as he does?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Little Sprong in Pittsburgh.
No, he was there early. I was just there last year, so he was in Seattle last year.
How young were you guys back in Edmonton? That's a ways back.
It's dating myself.
Thanks.
Derek, just looking back last night, what stood out to you most about what you take away from the game?
Joe Veleno's play, I thought was really good. It's not that even the 2 goals. I thought he was sharp away from the puck, had some pop to his game, and a good experience. I think it put some of our young D in a vulnerable position, being on the road against prominently NHL lineup. But that's one of the positives about the exhibition preseason. When you saw that with some of the lineups that showed up here at home. So, those are probably the positives out of that game.
Terry, what kind of impression has Jeff Petry made on you now?
Good. He got better as that last game. The second game came along. Just a veteran. He's an experienced guy that he's a pro. He comes every day to work, but he also knows what he needs to get out of the exhibition. And he'll get maybe 1 more, maybe 2 more to get his game in order for the season.
He's someone who, looks like he can project to help you guys offensively just with his puck skills too.
Yeah, well, and we need offense throughout our lineup. I think the added depth in the off season has a lot to do with just adding some goals throughout, and I think he can contribute there, which obviously we think Shane can too, and some other guys in our back end.
Is having Jeff and Jake Walman, I mean, it gives you options on the power play.
Yeah, absolutely,
too, yeah.
absolutely, and both can obviously run it, and both can play in that shooter spot too, and they're both good in the breakouts, good poise. Again, we talked about beginning of camp, some added decisions and luxuries on special teams.
As you with Veleno, obviously the 1-year deal, he's got a lot to prove to you guys during this preseason. Would you say maybe he's got more to prove than some other players on the team? Or are you watching him a little bit closer than you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not. If you remember, Joe had a really good camp last year too, and he had a really good start to the season. So I think some of those young players, they need to find some consistency, and it's hard. Sometimes we ask so much of these young guys, and where we are with our process with our organization, we've probably asked more of these young guys than maybe some other organizations. And I think you see maybe a little tired play when you get towards the middle to the end of the season, I think that was Joe. So I think it's on him to have a really good start like he did last year and to sustain it.
Is that kind of Bergie too a little bit?
Yep, Bergie would be another example of that also. So, yes.
Do you envision going righty-lefty on the defense pairs?
Ideally, we'd like that, but we're not married to that. And one of the attractive pickups in Shane is his ability to play his offhand. I don't know if we do that to many other D, but the versatility of him being able to play on his offhand is something that's attractive for him. So he'd be the one guy, unless we got in a pinch, we'd have no problem starting his offhand.
Ben Sherrod played 22 and a half minutes last night leading the team. What made you feel comfortable kind of giving him that heavy workload straight away? And then what did you see or notice about his game?
I just think he needed those minutes. So that was more a workload, missing most of camp. I just think he needed to get in those reps. And I think he got a little bit of a rhythm to his game. Probably a little rust early on. So more than anything, it was just important to get him those type of minutes. And he had some physical plays, which we need out of him. And he was part of our first goal. So we just need him to be simple, hard to defend against.
What is your overall?
Hard to play against.
Sorry. What is your overall impression of Edmundson been so far?
Good. It was a good game. A little more consistency than you saw in his camp last year. Last year he literally had the really highs and lows in his game. I think he's been a lot more consistent with his games. We'll get another game tonight, maybe even tomorrow. We think volume and workload is important for him too, especially with him missing his off season.
With how deep you guys are there, I mean, if everyone's healthy, does he have a path to make the team, or is that something that just...
I think it's something we'd evaluate. Again, he's a type of prospect in his development. If he's not going to be up with us and playing significant minutes, that balance we've been with a few players in the past, it's probably more beneficial for him to eat really big minutes, but that's why we have 3 games left.
You mentioned consistency a couple of times now with Simon being another young guy and then Berggren and Valeno. How do you coach a player to be more consistent, or does it just come with experience?
Experience is part of it, but you grow with them. Video, day-to-day process, those guys probably get a little extra attention. You just point out some mistakes and growth they need, and you hope that happens game to game. And for the most part, I think they've done that.
It's become like a 12-month-a-year job, but
More
camp and preseason, guys really do need this, don't they?
100%. Those minutes are valuable. The process of it is valuable. You need that growth. And you made it. This development is a 12-month-a-year process.
Are you still at the point of splitting goalies, or are you going to play one guy the whole way? Or?
We'll keep getting guys looks. We think they need to be ready. Reimer's going to get the all 60 tonight with 3 games left.
Do you have I know you said longer term, but do you have a timeline on Mazur?
No, I do not expect him for camp. Obviously, that extends through Saturday. Then I think we'll kind of go from there. I do foresee him getting some reps here, probably more into a week-to-week scenario, which is obviously a positive.
What about Luff?
Luff is not into a week-to-week. He's into more of an extended time, still being evaluated.
Going back to Mazur, obviously a disappointment to miss this time given where he is in his development arc. I'm curious, is there any way for him to make up somehow the kind of exposure and to playing and practicing with these guys?
That's a really good question, simply off the question of how important these minutes are. I mean, Carter was a player that we've envisioned getting 5 games, pushing for a spot. We need that push from the bottom. We thought we'd be sitting here hopefully making a very hard decision on Carter, and obviously the injury didn't make that happen. But I think it's the reality of it. Get healthy. Obviously he'll start in Grand Rapids now because of the time frame of it, and he'll just need those reps and workload. Hopefully get back to game speed as quick as possible.
Is there a way from Grand Rapids he can sort of make that push that might have led you to the
Absolutely.
decision?
No, we want those guys to push where they're forcing our hand. We love all those guys. Anyone that leaves here on the weekend or whenever we make those final cuts, we want them to make it very, very hard on us for us to keep them from not coming up.
Hey, Derek, you may have mentioned it the other day, but when are you going to try to play like an NHL lineup Thursday or Saturday? Or
Probably Saturday. It may not be exactly
Right.
what our lineup will look like in New Jersey the following Thursday, but it'll be more of a dress rehearsal. Maybe a couple roster decisions will go in there that we need to see something, or Steve and his team needs to see something. But it'll probably be more of a dress rehearsal on Saturday at home.
do you kind of call Sheldon Keefe and just like, look, this is what we're trying to do? I mean,
No,
is that go on,
and then
or-
there's some of that we share, but it's sometimes it's just a reality of the schedule. Us playing 3 and 3 and 4 games in 5 days, I think even Pittsburgh kind of gave us a heads up that due to their schedule, them playing in the Canadian East Coast there, that they're probably not going to dress a huge national lineup. But there's nothing we can do about it. You'd love those matchups if possible because you're trying to get ready. But it's just more of a reality of our hands were kind of tied with our schedule.
So they're resting a lot of their big guys tonight?
My guess is that considering where they're at, just knowing, just overlooking their schedule.
Thanks, Susie.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.